is what I call level one, the epiphany, the aha moment. I already shared with you my aha moment back in 2005. I had purchased a mobile home park, and it wasn't the asset that was really bad. It was the partnership, and it was me not knowing anything. So, and I lost a ton of money there. That was my aha moment number one. I've had so many aha moments, but that was the first one. And I said, what am I doing here? I'm not prepared. I don't have any kind of education. And I see where the business is going. The restaurant business, around 2007, 2008, the Great Recession comes, and then all of a sudden, I'm saying to myself, I need to do something else. And then it hit me. I'm like, wow, I need to get into a different business where I can start scaling up. And I had tried mobile home parks. I had tried a mixed use building. And you know what? The only thing that worked for me was a 4 unit that I had bought back in 2002. I'm like, I love this. I like dealing with tenants. I like getting that monthly income, and I can do it part time. Well, Dustin and Hayden, you guys are both in it part time. I see Hayden is actually transitioned full time, but I started like most investors part time, where I was, working a couple hours a month on this property, and I'm like, you know what? That's my aha moment. Getting down and starting multifamily, but starting small. I always tell our students, think big, but start small. You don't have to start with a big property. You can start with a 4 unit or 8 unit. We always talk about it. It's the proof of concept. And there's a couple of books that, really have helped me out in the last couple of years on. Let me hold up the first one. This is called Mindset by Carol Dweck. Right now, things are tough. You either have a fixed mindset or you have a growth mindset. And I've been, homeschooling our kids for the last 20 years and trying to teach our kids the growth mindset, which is like, you know what? Doesn't matter how smart you are. You have to work hard. You have to continue to better yourself. And that was part of the aha moment for me. I was always complaining back in 2008, why is everyone making millions of dollars? And you hear that now. There are millionaires and billionaires being created. Why is it not me? I didn't have the skill set. Josh had touched upon a few minutes ago. He had a certain skill set. He's got an amazing skill set with people, with sales, and that's how he earns his money. And I didn't have any skill sets, so I needed to learn. So I want everyone to check this book out. Book Mindset is awesome. Jake's epiphany aha moment, it's a great story because he was working as a pharmaceutical rep in New York, and he was using my restaurant to cater food to doctors' offices. And at that time, back in 2009, 2010, the Sunshine Act came out, and a lot of these doctors were losing their autonomy. And Jake looks around, and they're all going to these private practices, medical groups, and basically doctors were becoming glorified W-2 earners. And he saw one, Dr. Neshi, who actually had his own practice, could care less, and he loved what he was doing. And Jake is like, Dr. Neshi, what are you doing that is allowing you to not sell out? And he said, Jake, I just bought real estate and I continue to buy real estate. And that's when it hit Jake. He's like, wow, I got to look at the multifamily. I'm trying to open a little business. I'm having a W-2 job. So out there, take a look. And for him, he saw what the doctor's doing. He actually approached me about multifamily, and that's how it sparked from that one conversation with that doctor. And that was his aha moment. Josh, do you want to share your aha moment with everybody?
Yeah. So guys, listen, I was in real estate as is, right? I was in the education space and I was buying turnkeys, and we had kind of capped out, a buddy and I, at our W-2 job. And so we were working 70 hours a week, couldn't really trade any more time for money. And financially, there was no more clear path for promotion. And right, we were doing well, and we were looking at what's the next step in our life. So we thought about getting into sales training. As Gino had inferred, I'd been in sales at the time. And so he went to go see Grant Cardone. So a buddy of mine paid $7,500 for 1 hour one-on-one with Grant Cardone. And this is a little over 3 years ago. $7,500 for an hour with Uncle G, not Dr. G, as Jake said. And we wanted to open a sales training company, right? Grant's got sell or be sold and a lot of that. And that's what his first claim to fame was. And when he went to go see Grant, Grant said, hey, son, when I was your age, I wish I would have gotten into multifamily real estate. I'd be a billionaire instead of a millionaire. The only question is how many times over. So obviously a very bold statement. Grant's a very bold dude. But at that time, that kind of opened up our eyes and led us to look further in this industry.
So that's a great story, Josh. What I like about it is you guys had skin in the game. $7,500. You're going to take action on what he said, and now you look at what Grant Cardone has accumulated. He's got over $1 billion in assets. So imagine if he'd started sooner. So I want everyone out there. If you've had an epiphany, really document it, really talk about it, really discuss it, create that story, own that story. That's your story, because every time you're out there raising capital, every time you're out there talking to an investor or a banker or a potential partner, share that story with them. Let them know why you got into multifamily. Let them know the pain that you had. And it's a great way to relate to it. And you'll be bought into multifamily. For me, it was that, wow, I can create additional revenue. I have a business plan. I have the way to scale up. That was the epiphany moment for me. And I love, a lot of our students have epiphany moments. I want them to share it with their community, with everyone around them. Number two, after you had that epiphany, and some of you may have not had one yet. I think you really need to have one. You really need to have an epiphany to be bought into what's all the hard work is necessary. The second step is massive education. For me, in 2008, I had already, like I said, crapped out on 2 deals. And I said, you know what? I'm done. I need help here. I need systems. I need to be able to talk to a broker. I don't know what a cap rate is. I don't know any of this stuff. So I ended up going to Rich Dad Poor Dad, got a coaching program with him, spent a few months on that program. And then I actually went and got another mentor and started coaching with that other mentor. And it was amazing because that gave me the systems, the tools, the framework. At Jake and Gino, we created the buy right, the manage right, the finance right. I was able to do all that through the education that I received. And it's continued. The education of my life has continued. Jake and I have spent over $200,000 in the last 2 years on coaching because it's really important that you continue to grow and to push yourself out, because we're trying to scale a company. I've never scaled a company before. We're adding different streams of revenue. I never did that before. So as far as the education goes, get out there, start taking massive education is your next step. And for me, that means no shiny object. Pick a niche. If you're on here, I'm assuming you're in multifamily. If you want to look at commercial, and let's say you're looking at self-storage, another great niche. Own that niche. If you're looking at mobile home parks, that's another great niche. Own that niche. There's no such thing as the shiny object syndrome. You know what? Cryptocurrency can wait. Buying stocks can wait for me. I'm focused still on multifamily because I'm constantly learning. I've got so much more to learn, and I'm building different businesses within multifamily that can continue to focus on multifamily. And there's another thing that I want everyone out there. I want to all challenge you. Go Google the word life coaching, because life coaching was transformational for me. For me, I'd done it around 2014, and I just wanted personal development. I didn't want to become a life coach, but what it did is it taught me so many different lessons in life, whether it's active listening, whether you're talking about empowering goals, empowering questions, whether you're talking about setting goals. All of that came through life coaching, being able to communicate with others much better, being able to, negotiate with brokers. That all came through the life coaching aspect of it. So Google life coaching, look at it, and it's really working on yourself, getting clear goals for yourself, challenging your beliefs, creating values for yourself, and setting those goals. That was really, for me, transformational about life coaching. Josh, what do you want to hit up with education? I mean, how did it affect your life?
Yeah, so I think there's a few things that I want to unpack that you said first that are really important, right? So it's becoming the person needed to achieve the level of success. And I'm a huge fan. I have a John Maxwell leadership coach, and John Maxwell refers to it as the law of the lid, right? So someone's income rarely exceeds their level of personal development. So it's like, hey, I want this level of success. Are you the person capable of achieving that? So I agree with that 100%. First, you got to work on yourself, right? Have the habits needed to create success. And then, like Gino said, it's get very clear on what niche you want to do and why, right? Is it an Amazon store? Is it multifamily real estate like we do? And we happen to believe one of the best vehicles for generational wealth. And at that point, don't reinvent the wheel, right? There's 2 ways to learn this business. One is the school of hard knocks, and you can piece it together, right? People have done it all the time by themselves. But those that are truly successful look to rip off and duplicate, right? In school, it's called cheating. In business, it's called smart, right? So I'm the best copycat I know. So I linked up with these guys and, kind of took what they had, right? And implemented it in my own business.
Mm-hmm. And Josh, you always say if it makes you money, it costs you nothing. So for me, I look at it that way. I look at it as an entrepreneur. There's a cost and there's an investment. I look at my education now as a massive investment because I'm getting a huge ROI on that education. Once you have that mind shift, and your mind shifts from one of scarcity, to one of abundance, all of a sudden, you're on it. And for argument's sake, you're an entrepreneur. Everyone's talking about Trump's taxes and the like. People out there, W-2 earners, don't understand they have the same benefits. Do they want to pay an accountant $20,000 a year to save $100,000? A lot of them would probably say, I don't know. Most of us are just looking at the ROI of it. So when you're looking at education, look at it as an ROI, and you will always have that education with you going forward.